Hey everyone, what's going on? So I'm here to do a lock update. It's been a long time since I've given you guys an update on my starter lock. So I definitely wanted to pop in before my 1 year mark actually got here, which it's approaching in February. So I've been locked since February 2016, just to give a brief update. I got my locks started professionally at a loctician's shop. She started my locks with comb coils, and she maintained my locks for 3 visits. So after the third visit, I decided to care for my own locks, and I think I have a video that kind of talks about why I did that. So I'm just going to give you just a brief description on what I've been doing with my hair. And first, I'm going to let you take a closer look at my hair. So this retwist is about 3 or 4 days old. So yeah, okay, so what's been going on? So again, I've been caring for my own hair. I retwist my hair maybe every 4 to 6 weeks. I only retwist my hair when I'm gonna wash it, or vice versa. I only wash my hair when I know I'm gonna retwist. And the reason being is that I do not like the way my hair looks if I wash it and don't retwist. And I think it's because my hair is still kind of short, and there's no weight to it. So when I wash my hair without retwisting it, the locks tend to go every which way, and I don't really like that. So when I wash my hair, it's because I know I'm going to retwist it. And that might not be the process I continue with as my hair gets longer, but for now, that's what I do. So I wash my hair every 4 to 6 weeks, and I retwist it every time I wash it, basically. I think maybe once or twice I tried to wash it without retwisting it, and I just didn't like the way it looked, and wound up retwisting it the next day, pretty much on dry hair with wet roots. So what I use for cleansing my hair currently is the Trader Joe's Tea Tree Tingle shampoo, and the conditioner, matching conditioner. And as you can see, this is pretty much empty, and this is pretty much completely full because, for the longest time, I didn't put any conditioner in my hair. I tried it once, not this conditioner, like a Shea Moisture conditioner, and I felt like it weighed my hair down, and like I couldn't get the conditioner fully rinsed out of my hair. So I have not been conditioning my hair per se. With this retwist, I washed my hair twice, and towards the end of my second shampoo, I put a handful of this right into my shampoo and washed it all together. So I don't know if that was effective or not, but those are the shampoos and conditioners that I use. For a leave-in conditioner, I've been using the Cream of Nature Argan Oil Strength and Shine leave-in conditioner, and I really, really like this stuff. I use this when my hair is freshly washed. I use it to spritz my hair throughout the week, and I use it whenever I'm going to just kind of give myself a touch-up around the edges. I will dampen my roots with this stuff. Of course, I use oils. I use this very inexpensive oil, which is like $2 at Walmart. But then I also use the black Jamaican castor oil for my edges. So normally whenever I retwist my hair, I will pretty much oil my whole scalp with this, but then in between washes, I'll use this. For retwisting purposes, I've been using the Smooth and Shine Polishing Conditioning Gel that contains tree tea oil. And I don't know if you guys, I don't know if I've heard anybody really use that. So it's definitely just a basic gel. And it has a minty smell from the tea tree oil. Oh, and it also has olive oil too. So, and this has been working well for me. I haven't seen any buildup or flaking with this. But when I tell you I use a little bit, I use such a little bit of this stuff. I've had this for the entire time I've been locked, which is what, 9 months? Yeah. So to talk about the style that I'm wearing now really quickly, it's just, of course, some curls. And what I use to curl my hair are, I don't know what these things are called, but you know, you get them from the arts and crafts store. But what I did was, while my hair was in clips from the retwist, and I'll show you the clips that I use, you know, typical, but. So while my hair was still clipped, I went through my whole head and I curled the very tips of my hair with these. And it came out precisely how I wanted it to come out. I just wanted a little bit of body at the end to try to give me some lift. Typically, I wear my hair up, especially when I go to work. I pretty much always wear my hair up, and I'm trying to get away from that. So I thought that some curls would inspire me to wear my hair down, and it has. So I've been wearing my hair down for the last 4 days since I did this retwist. What I wear on my hair at night is a stretchy scarf like this. I don't even know where I got this from. It's so old and it's so long. And then I cover my head with a bonnet. To me, wearing a bonnet alone isn't good enough to preserve my retwist and to minimize the frizz. Because, you know, when you have the bonnet on, your hair is still moving around all underneath here. And I guess it depends on how much hair you have too. But I always use both. And one tip that I do want to give you, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as I get home, I tie my hair up. I don't give myself any time. I tie my hair up, I take out my contact lenses, and I go on with my evening. The reason being is that I really struggle with a lot of frizz, and I struggled kind of with my retwist not lasting long, and then I realized that I kind of needed to train my hair and train myself also. So this allows me to keep my hair, keep my hands out of my hair when I get home. And it keeps my parts fresh. It keeps the frizz at a minimum. And I just like it. So I don't know. I guess some people might not want to walk around with this on their hair all night long. So what else has been going on? So just to talk about the journey itself. You know, I've had a number of days where I was like, you know what? I'm cutting these locks out. I have had those days, but really, as this journey goes on, those days are dwindling down to none, you know, to where I don't think like that anymore. Especially when my hair is looking like cute. I'm like, you know what? Ew. So, and I know it's not all about cuteness or, you know, whatever, but you know, when your hair is not looking the way you like for it to look, or if it's looking frizzy, you know, that can be a deterrent to some people to continue. And I've had those days too. But for the most part, I've enjoyed the process, especially when I just let go, when I stop being overcritical of my hair and the way it looked and the frizziness, and you know, because your hair is morphing into something else. It's still your hair. I mean, you still have the same hair texture that you were born with, but you know, when you allow your hair to mat up like this, it's taking on a different form, and so it does take a while to get used to. So if you're, you know, starting your lock journey and you're discouraged and you're like, you know, hang in there, because I definitely can attest to the fact that it gets better with time and you really become so attached to your locks. One thing that I was worried about with my locks, was that they were so thin. I was like, my locks are super thin, and that drove me crazy because, I'm not a little woman. I'm kind of I set a timer so I wouldn't talk too much. I'm kind of a big girl. I'm 5'10". I've got a big face. And so I didn't want thin locks, and so I'm happy to say that my locks have really plumped up. So if you're worried about your hair looking thin and stringy, your hair will thicken up. I mean, I've got some locks in the back that are so thick and juicy. I love them. I can't even find it right now. But so okay, here's one. I don't know if you can see. It's so thick and juicy. Another thing I wanted to talk about briefly is that my locks are forming in two different ways or patterns. So because I'm doing my own hair, and I am palm rolling, it's like I can palm roll the front of my head very well because, of course, I can reach all the sections very well. But in the back, I'm not able to palm roll in the same manner as I do the front. So I'm noticing that my hair in the front, for the most part, is taking on the barrel look of locks. But then in the back, because I can't really get to it, there's a lot more lumps and bumps and so forth. Which is fine because I actually like the lumpy, bumpy, look in a way. So I don't know, I just wanted to mention that my hair is forming in two different ways because I can't seem to get a good palm roll in the back. And that might change as my hair gets longer. What else did I want to talk about? I do want to mention just briefly that if you are starting your journey and you're kind of at this 1 year mark, I'm approaching 1 year, don't take for granted that you are fully locked, that your hair is mature, blah, blah, blah. Because I got an eye-opener this past summer, on vacation, at the beach. So my hair was getting wet every single day for 7 days with pool water, ocean water, and water from the shower. And when I tell you, almost every single one of my locks had hair that had started to pull away from the lock. And I had so many, what's the word for it? Like this one right here. This at the end is the result of hair that pulled away from the lock because it was getting wet just too often. And so that little tip there is a result of that, because no matter how many times I would try to palm roll it back into the body of the lock, or I would even take a comb and try to use the teeth of the comb to kind of swirl it around the lock, you know what I mean? It would not successfully go back in. And here's another example. So that happened over the summer. And so that was just a reminder to me that even though my hair is locked, it's still not mature. So I still have to take a certain level of care with my hair, or I will have these little setbacks. So for these, I don't know if these are setbacks per se, but who wants these little tips at the end of your locks? And I'm sure there's a process that I can try to maybe do to incorporate those tips back into my hair. The ones in the back really didn't experience that much pulling away because my hair in the back, more of those locks have sealed. Like, you can really see that, I have sealed tips for the most part in the back, but my hair is a little bit looser in the front, so the hair was pulling away from the lock. So just be careful with your locks. Just because you're at a certain stage, don't take for granted that you're home free. You still have to kind of baby your hair, especially under that 1 year mark. And other than that, I've been enjoying my hair. I haven't had the urge to do anything crazy like color it or anything like that. I kind of like it black like it is. I get so many compliments on my hair. That's another thing. And especially with these curls, I was surprised. Like, I had people at work, oh my God, your hair is so pretty. You know, people actually come to me for advice about locks. And that makes me feel really good because it tells me that I'm doing something right with my hair. So don't be hard on yourself. If you're caring for your own hair, you know, keep it up. Learn from your mistakes and keep it moving. And one other thing I do want to say is that, you know, I was really critical of myself in the beginning with these locks. Like, can I care for my hair? Can I maintain locks? You know, are my locks going to look good? But you know what? I had those same exact worries when I went natural and did the big chop like 8 years ago. You know, I have a video out there when I had this much hair on my head and so nervous, so scared. You know, you have these little setbacks or you have these experiments that go wrong and you think, oh my gosh, I cannot do this. But you know what? You can. And I did. When I was natural, you know, I became a master over my hair to where my hair was literally down my back whenever I would straighten it. My hair had gotten so long and thick that right before I locked my hair, I had cut probably about 9 inches off, and I gave myself, you know, I got a bob because my hair was just so long and it was out of control. Well, you know, I did that. I was able to maintain my own loose natural hair very successfully in a healthy way. So I don't know why I was so paranoid about locks. You know, once you're in touch with your hair and once you are, you know, just comfortable with the fact that, you know, mistakes are going to happen or, you know, every day might not be a great hair day, then you'll be more at peace with your journey is what I'm going to say. But other than that, you know, I hope everybody's doing well. I definitely keep up with everybody else's hair journeys. I still have my favorites that I can't wait till they post a video. But that's it. So I just wanted to come in, say hello, give you guys my update. Peace. Take care.